Hey everyone, welcome to The Word on the Street Is with Michael and Gabby, where we mention it all about your favorite Bravo celebrities and the shows they star in.
Hey, friends, welcome to episode 91. We have a super chic guest today. You probably know him if you are on the right side of Instagram on, loving all things Bravo. Today's guest is Bravo by Brett. We're so happy to have him here. Hey, Brett, how's it going?
Hi, you guys. I'm so excited to be here, dive into all things Bravo. We're gonna have a good time.
So last week we had Danielle, who is Brands by Bravo, and she also went to Bravocon and shared some of her experience. So we wanted you to kind of kick off this episode by sharing some of your experience.
Well, for one, I love her. I actually did run into her at BravoCon. And honestly, I will say, in terms of so I started my account right when Salt Lake City started, um, as just like an outlet to like make memes and find more Bravo lovers because it's like hard to find, especially like it was like pandemic timing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of grew from there. So going to BravoCon, it was like really cool to like meet everybody that I have like talked to in person. And like these are all my like virtual friends that I like DM and like comment and talk to. And so that was very special about going to BravoCon. But I went to BravoCon for the 3 days. I had VIP, which is worth it. It was worth the money. I think all in it was a grand, which is a lot. But for 3 days times being able to flash pass majority of the events, which was really great. Also, the biggest perk of it was getting it early in the morning. So general admission opened up at 9:30, but SVIP and VIP opened at 9. And so it was great to like have, because I'm sure you might have seen like people do like the little photo booths or like um just different photo shoots that they had, different booths that you could have like fun in with friends. Also you got to walk like the bazaar area, which is where all the different booths were with all the store stuff. So it was nice to have that early 30 minutes in the morning kind of just to like quickly walk around and do that, and then you could immediately go to your first panel. One thing I will say about BravoCon,
Yeah.
everything you see on television is how they act in real life. And that was so reaffirming to me to like see them interact on stage, see them just one off, like talking to fans or like, walking around, doing different interviews. They are exactly who they are. Like Teresa really is nothing in the brain. She really is. And it's just so funny to watch her put thoughts and sentences together in an interview. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is real. This is real. Like she couldn't, I forget the question they asked her during a panel. I think it was about her going to jail. And she was saying, make sure your husband does his taxes. And everyone's like, yeah, like, no, make sure you do your taxes. Like, no, what are you talking about? Like, she was like, yeah, make sure he's filing things, and I'm like, Teresa,
Not.
no, no, no. Like, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Like, you have a responsibility in this as well. Like, are you just hands up? Like, that's what makes it. And then, of course, there's no prenup. Like, oh, mess, mess. But again, everybody, like my Potomac ladies, amazing. They are just. We went to the Potomac panel, which was on a Sunday morning, first panel, which they knew that everyone would be hungover.
Mm-hmm.
So, but everybody was there, showed up with their egg and cheese bagel and coffee, and we were waiting to see what happened. And that panel filled up quickly. It was that one and the Salt Lake panel, which I'm sure you guys are following the drama with Heather and Whitney,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And
which allegedly won't come out until season 3 of Ultimate Girls Trip.
interesting.
Which is not till like next year.
Yes, which is honestly in a couple months.
I know I'm so dramatic. Given that you're a first time guest, we kind of like to do this with all of our first time guests, which is have you give us your Bravo palette. So starting with
Yes.
your top 5 favorite housewives and can be past, present, and it doesn't have to be in any particular order either.
Okay, that's good too because so this is always a hard question because it always changes for me. I go back and forth through the seasons. I used to try to do like all time, But then that became too controversial because people forget things or remember
Hmm.
too much. So my number one, which I forgot how much I loved her, and after BravoCon, I'm like, ah, she really is the queen. Um, Vicky Gunvalson, number one. At number two, Candace Stillard Bassett. I'm a Bassett hound.
Me
Um,
too.
okay, good,
And
good,
it's
good.
rare.
I don't know why though. I mean, she's not. She's. I just love my Candy gal.
I
I
love
hated when
her too.
she changed her Instagram to the real Candace, whatever. I'm like, no, you're Candy gal forever.
She's Candy Gal for sure.
Oh, do we have an anti gal here?
No,
Oh, okay,
I'm not I always have loved Candace's Instagram handle. I was agreeing with you on that. I just always have thought it's funny.
okay, good,
And
good.
not in a making fun of her way. Admittedly, I don't like her as much as like Michael, and it sounds like you do as well. I'm kind of
Hmm.
like I'm more towards I'm not 50-50. I'm more towards like leaning towards like her, but she's not in like my top 10.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll accept that. I'll accept that.
Yeah, because she
Uh,
has a lot of haters. So
I
Yeah, I
know.
definitely no, she has a lot of qualities that I really like. It's too hard for me to hate Candace.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Third is Garcelle Bouvet. We stand Garcelle in this house. Um, Kenya Moore,
Kenya
which might
Moore.
be a
Gabby. Gabby loves Kenya.
okay, meeting her in person, flawless. I can't believe she's over 50.
I'm
I
so
look at her
jealous.
skin and I'm like, okay, teach me whatever you have. And lastly, Jill Zarin, an oldie but a goodie.
Nice.
We love Jill.
Yeah,
Jill Ferroni legacy.
She'll be there.
I love Jill as well. That's a great top five.
Yeah, it's a good mix. I mean, I've gone back and forth. Like I told you guys in the beginning, I it would have been Sonia on there, and it would have been Luann. One of them would have been there, but
I,
sorry.
That's so funny, Brett. I was gonna say I don't usually like pre-think before the episode like who our guests' top five favorites are gonna be. But for you, I was
Yeah,
like so sure Sonia would be in your top five, but you have a very like recent reason why
yes.
Sonia is no longer in your top five. Please share with our listeners.
Okay, so at Bravocon, they had photo ops, and one of the photo ops was with Countess Luann and Sonia Morgan. And of course, I wanted to get my picture with them. I was so excited. I love my Sonia. Um, Sonia is very interactive online. She sent me a cameo for my birthday. I've been to her show. Like I was like, okay, I'm so excited to meet Sonia in person. Um, and to get a photo op. So we waited in line for an hour, which is not normal. We also had VIP, and the way they do it is it goes SVIP, VIP, and then GA, and they just kind of go down the line to take the pictures. So we got there at 12:30, and then we thought at 1 they would start doing it, and we were kind of far back a little bit, so I thought maybe we would, it would take some time, but we would still make it because the way that they did the photo ops, they were hard stops. So if they did, if you were in the middle of something at 1:30, they would say end and they would make people leave. Like they were very strict about that. And I think it was like a security thing or like protocol, whatever. Um, and we waited until 1:30. Nobody showed up. Um, and the security people there were like, I would just go, like, there's no point in waiting. And at that point we're like, well, we're not going to wait any longer, even if they do show up at what, like 2 o'clock, or they said they couldn't even show up. So we were like, okay, well, we've missed our opportunity. Then we see on Instagram later that they showed up at like the last, like whatever, 1:45 or something, and they like got like a picture of like seeing our fans, like, and they were singing like money can't buy you class, and they had these people who had Sonia Morgan intern t-shirts on, um
I
which
think
is
I saw that
funny.
picture. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I mean, they were dedicated, they were waiting. But it was just like frustrating because we were like, we waited for an hour, you never showed up, and then you acted like you did show up and participated when it was just more of a photo op real quick, and then you left. So that kind of put like a thorn in my side. I mean, are we really surprised? No.
No.
But it was just frustrating.
Yeah. Well, especially when you paid all that money for VIP. And it just also shows like their lack of respect for the fans.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it wasn't just them. I will say, like, they weren't an outlier for the weekend. Like, there were a lot of Bravo Lebs who were late to their things, didn't show up on time. Like, um, whether or not that's their fault or something else's fault, I don't know. But it was like, it would have been nice if they were a little bit more punctual since they
Yeah.
are being paid to be there.
And
Yeah.
it's a set time, and there's how many people waiting, and they're just not even going to show up or for 5 minutes.
No, literally. But c'est la vie. Chic, c'est la vie, c'est bon, c'est bon.
Yes. I,
I do
I
have to say, Sonia is probably the most common name in our guest like top five. I feel like I hear her the most.
And
yes.
she would be. I love the Whoop It Up Dream Team. Okay, I love my sing. Oh, actually, this is okay. So this is another deep cut. Um, so you guys know Steve, Faces by Bravo.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so he had an after party on Sunday after Bravocon to like celebrate the end. It was at a bar in New York called the Eagle. I don't know if we're familiar with the Eagle here.
Mm-mm.
I think so. Is it like a
Oh,
leather bar?
it is a leather bar.
Yeah.
Most
Okay.
most notable, most notable for their dark room. Okay,
Okay. Yeah. I
and
can only imagine what goes down there. Yes.
yeah, lots to imagine, we'll say.
Hmm.
But anyway, beautiful rooftop though. So we were on the rooftop chatting, talking about BravoCon, um, and like Christian Grey Snow was there, Steve was there, some like Bravo, uh, like social media team was there, um, and guess who also was at the Eagle?
Who?
Sonia
Sonia.
Tremont Morgan
Oh,
showed up
Not
to the Eagle.
surprised.
Um, Unfortunately, I was preoccupied, so I did not get a picture with her, but she was there, and I find that to be extremely hilarious. But also, she has raised millions for the LGBT community, and that just hit the mark.
well, now, Brett, we would love to hear your 5 least favorite Real Housewives. Can be
Oh,
past or present and no particular order.
I don't know if these are gonna be controversial. My number one is Mia.
Mia Thornton
Mm.
from Potomac. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
you're the first person to ever have her in your bottom 5.
I keep trying to like her. I watched the last season of Potomac, season 6, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Um, I didn't like her when I first watched it. I watched the season again before season 7. Still didn't like her. This season she's grown on me a little bit more, but I still don't know what added value she's bringing. Like this cancer thing is not interesting. Like, did you watch Vicky and Brooks? Like, I don't understand what's like. What is your storyline? What are you adding? Like, she just feels like an outlier to the group. Whereas I feel like Wendy has done a really good job of like integrating herself into the drama more.
Mm-hmm.
So, but so
And she's just
Mia,
kind of like a pathological liar.
yeah, because she wants like the fame for her chiropractic business.
Yeah.
Joink. Number 2 would be Noella.
Mm.
Not
Is
this.
that
We
a
like
shocker?
Noella here.
Oh, I just couldn't get into her. I didn't understand the point of her. I just don't like the fame hungry housewives. Um, I mean, she did have some iconic moments, the crying by the river. I mean, I'll never forget that one.
And also that
Um,
like that leather phone strap, like that's
oh,
so good. Like I love that phone strap.
now I will say, when I say my least favorite housewives, they're always hard to give because I do have a belief that every housewife is valuable in some capacity. They
Yes.
bring some legacy, even if I don't like them on the show, like they do bring an added value. I mean, I haven't liked Gina or Emily since the beginning, but they stick around, and you know what? They have created I mean, Hip and Casita, okay? They've cemented their space.
Can I say the
Um,
only housewife I think is the exception to what you've said? Because I agree with you, with the exception of this housewife, Kim Fields. She brought nothing.
all right, well, that's true.
She brought her book on a boat trip.
Hey, but you know what? You remembered her name, and that's all that matters.
But that's because I have an unhealthy addiction to Bravo.
Uh, no, healthy. Okay, this is all good stuff that we're doing. This is curing society. I don't know if you know.
This is our therapy.
All roads
The-
lead to Bravo, even the White House.
My third one, a controversial one, which you guys might not agree with, is Mary Cosby.
Yeah, that's very
Some
understandable.
people have actually had her in their top 5, but
Yeah.
I understand the perspective because Steve loves her to death. Like in terms of like the way she provides like television, I just never could swallow like that the corruption of the church. I could
Mhm.
never swallow like her behavior. Like yes, she had like the funny lines like women, but like that is literally her. That's not like Ramona being stupid or like,
Yeah.
like off, avant-garde. Like that's literally how she feels about people. So like I don't know if I want that energy on my TV.
Mhm.
Again, grain of salt. Fourth would be Charisse. Isn't that interesting?
Okay.
I don't disagree with that one.
Because she's just air, she's the Kim Fields of Potomac, she's just
Oh,
not adding anything for me.
okay.
Like like in the beginning seasons, like when she was trying to get divorced and stuff, like maybe she added some stuff, but now I'm like, I don't know. The show has carried on well without her. Oh,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah, and the
last
way
one,
she's coming back just feels so thirsty. Like she's like desperately trying to get Karen's attention.
yeah, it's 100%. But for what reason? Like she needs a check? No money's coming in? Like
She's probably doing it for free.
I'm sure these people are crazy. They love the fame.
Oh yeah.
My last one, if you can remember, Lizzie on OC.
Yeah, of course.
In the words of Vicky Gunvalson, ugh, not another bikini line.
So what's your main reasoning for not liking Lizzie?
She just tried too hard for me. I mean,
Yeah.
and she popped up for me because I am doing a rewatch of OC right now, and it's just as like she's just air, complete air, and not really getting involved with the drama, being too much involved with herself. Like she's just making herself look really stupid, and I'm like, no wonder that she didn't stay long on the television.
I like the way that she went after Tamra though.
It was good. It was good. I mean, like I said, least favorite, it's always hard to pull out. Um, but
Yeah, agreed.
What's interesting to me about your list, Brett, is that it's mostly housewives who've had very short runs.
they are, and for a reason, am I right?
Yeah.
True,
But
yeah.
Noella, I think, was robbed of at least 2 or 3 more seasons, but that's like Michael and I feel like are kind of in the minority of people who are like super Noella stans because I feel like a lot of people don't like her.
I mean, I would have loved to seen Vicky go after Noella. That would have been very interesting. Um, I think
That
everybody
would have
wants
been good.
Vicky back on the OC, which I am full support of. I don't even really know why they got rid of her. Like,
I think they were just trying to revamp the show, some of like her homophobic comments. I think they thought the show could carry on better than it did without her.
yeah, and then
I
they
kind of
fired
thought they
Tamra.
were like trying to like give Kelly Dodd the lead in a way, and then that like really backfired, and now they're like, shit, we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Right,
They just
that's for
like it's
sure.
been one poor choice after another with OC casting. Brett, to round out your Bravo palette before we move on to some Bravo news, who is your favorite Real Housewives husband?
So this one took me some time because I really hate men. Um,
Same.
Same.
and so I honestly, all of the house husbands are such garbage. Like these women are so powerful and elite and wonderful and beautiful and intelligent, talented, incredible, amazing, whatever.
Show stopping.
So stopping. Um, and but I did pick one, and I chose Rob, Crystal's husband.
Okay.
That's a good
I
one.
I just think he's really sweet. I think he doesn't like again, he's rich. Okay. He is Lion King money. So he is not looking for fame. He is not looking for the spotlight. He just wants his wife to be happy and have her $100,000 Birkin to walk around with. Um,
He's not
so
making troll accounts on Instagram.
exactly, he does not really care about this. All he cares about is his wife is happy and doing well, and and he's so sweet. I just
Yeah,
like
he
little
is.
Rob. So I'd have to give it to him because I honestly don't find any of the men attractive. None of them do anything for me. Everyone loves Mauricio. Whatever. Okay. PK.
Ugh.
Uh,
Who
Juan
likes
Dixon.
BK?
Well, I don't know. People like that something charm of PK. Whatever.
What charm?
Um, I I don't know that British humor. I don't know. And then Juan Dixon. I know that's people always say Juan Dixon.
That one is like, that one stumps me that so many people think he's so hot.
He is cute. I mean,
He's
would.
attractive.
Yeah,
He's
but I would
so
not pick him as
boring.
my favorite. Exactly. I mean, actually, you know what? I did want to be Juan Dixon for Halloween, and I tried to buy his jersey, and it was $150 for Juan Dixon.
Yeah, no.
Thank you,
Who
Robin.
is Juan Dixon? Who is Juan Dixon? Ugh.
That's hilarious. Last thing we wanted to hear, your favorite show on Bravo that's not Real Housewives.
So this was easy for me. It's Family Karma. I'm a Family Karma stan. I love that show. I love the dynamics. I love all the people, and I really hope they keep it going. I'm afraid they're going to cancel it after this season, but I'm fingers crossed.
Who is your favorite on Family Karma?
Well, I have a soft spot for Bali, mainly because we talk all the time. So I love Bali so much. Um, but I do also like Brian. Brian is very sweet.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you think I would like Amrit, but I don't know. There's something I'm like winking, like,
So that is it for Brett's Bravo palette. Now we wanted to move on to some Bravo news. It's like been a not a crazy Bravo news week, but it also hasn't been like a quiet news week either. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, there's like some rumors going on about that. Like they're reportedly going to be taking a few months off before filming again in late January. Like what do we think about that?
I think that's the best move they could have made. Obviously, I don't think they need the level of a break that New York had. Think everyone needs like a breather and to like chill out for a little bit. I think it got really chaotic and
Yeah.
toxic towards the end of the season. So I think a couple months off will do them good.
yeah, I agree. It was a tumultuous season. A lot went down. I mean, the whole Kathy of it all is just confusing. And then Renna just needs a break in general. I mean, she is so unhinged. Thank God she blocked me. I think she blocked like every Bravo account she could
Yeah.
because she didn't want to see the Bravo content. But like, girl, we are your supporters, okay? Good and bad. So why are you getting rid of us?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm curious also to see what next season will bring. I don't want, I mean, I watch my shows to bring peace, screaming women yelling, that is peace. But I don't want like this, the racist bots. Like, I don't want that. Like, it's like when it gets too far, it becomes not enjoyable to watch. It's like I just want to have fun, lighthearted conversation. I'm really over the Erica drama of it all and all of her legal battles. Like, if she didn't come back, would not be that upset. Or like pivot to a new storyline because I can't hear about that again. Um, Kyle buying another hat. I need something different. Um, like I would honestly love some more Sutton and Garcelle. Like, what are they doing? Like, how's the shop going? Like, um, I
Yeah,
don't
I would
know.
like to see more of that too, because it felt like they only focused on Erica's stuff. So then, like, I feel like nobody else really had their own personal storylines last season. It was all just like talking about Erica and then moving on to talking about the Kathy situation. Like, I feel like we didn't see a lot of like what people are just like doing.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. I mean, like all of her stores have closed for the most part, but like I liked when we would see Kyle's stores and like when she'd have
Yes.
events at those and all the women would go there and like partake in different ways, like Jamie Lee Curtis showing up like back in the day at Kyle's store for the Children's Hospital fundraiser. Like I loved those episodes.
Yeah, just something fun. I mean, lighthearted. I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, but maybe pivot to like do some of Mauricio's home stuff or like Alexia. I don't know, do something there too. I don't care. Just give me some new content because we've been 2 seasons with this whole Erica stuff. And it's like, I'm over it. I don't care if the legal battle's still going on. Keep the earrings. No, don't keep the earrings. We know where she stands with her feelings and emotions. Brennan can take a Xanax and put it in a smoothie. I don't care. Because she's just unhinged. So, someone have a child. We'll follow the child's lives. Who cares?
So there's also rumors that Brandy could be coming back, which I would super be here for. And
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
also LVP, which I wouldn't be here for, but
oh.
I don't know. I don't
How do you
I
feel about
don't
how do you feel about LVP, Brett?
You know what? I am not anti LVP or like super pro LVP. I think she did a lot for the show. Um, I don't like the attitude around it of not showing up to the reunion or not facing the
Yeah.
issues at hand. Um, if she came back, like I don't need her to come back at this point. I think she's left her mark and doesn't really provide any more context for me. I mean, she's not going to engage with the drama or anything. Then why do we have to tolerate that? Like I don't it just you can stay away now. We got your story, your family, your life. We're good. Give us some new characters. There has to be some more interesting people going on in Beverly Hills than just LVP.
Well, two other Bravo Lebs who did show up at Bravocon, who were both invited, are Ashley and Luke, and we've been talking about this. They have like continued to keep hanging out, and they were just recently at a Capitals game on a double date with Carl and Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say I was really skeptical when that whole thing was happening at Bravo. Kind of was like, oh, they're just like doing it for the fans and like they know they'll make the fans happy, but I was like, there's no way this is like real. And then to see them hanging out again, I was like, oh, okay, maybe.
I don't know. It's still a stretch for me. I think she's just in her fun phase because I met Luke at that Winter House party. No personality. I don't know where people think it's coming from, but we were trying to talk to him at the event, and we were like, "Tell us about Winter House. Like, what's coming up for this season?" He goes, "I don't know." We're like, "Oh, okay. Like, what would you say is your favorite thing that you've done in the past in the seasons or whatever?" We're just trying to make conversation with him,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe he's just socially awkward or whatever. But he was like, "Uh, I don't know. I don't really watch the show." And we were like, "Okay, so you've never seen an episode?" And he was like, "No, I don't really know what happens." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I don't know. I mean, maybe he's more like his shell opens up when he's around friends, but we were like, "Okay, well, that was weird."
It's kind of the definition of like a mediocre straight white boy, but yeah.
Well, but now we said it. But now we said
Yeah.
it.
Well, one last Bravo news piece that I wanted to mention
Mention
as
it
we
all.
just well, this is fitting for this piece. So Bethenny Frankel is now starting a new podcast called Rewives, which is like her rewatching and like recapping some iconic housewives moments. Which again I just think is really weird for somebody that's really made it known that she doesn't really want anything to do with Bravo or Real Housewives of New York, and has tried to like anytime she has a new business or a new show, like thinks she's too good for the network, and she always seems to be crawling back after everything fails. And she's also spends a lot of time on TikTok just like bashing women in general. Like Ramona said, she does not support other women. She's
Mm-mm.
body shamed one of our TikTok friends quite a few times. So yeah, and she's bashed other housewives podcasts. So I'm just like really over Bethany. Like
She
she's
just
like one of my
bashes.
least
She's
favorites.
so negative. She bashes everything, even like Mykonos, which is like one of the most beautiful places. And she just like, she can't enjoy anything. She just has to be negative and make it seem like she knows everything about everything.
I mean, her true personality has really come to light because
Yeah.
I will say I was a big Bethany fan. I loved her on the show.
Yes.
I thought her story
Yep.
was really compelling. I was always team her. Um, and I loved her and Bryn. I just wanted her to be happy and successful and just sit with her money and live with her skinny girl life.
Yep.
But she cannot keep her damn mouth shut. And I agree with everything you said. Like her tick actually what's even funnier, I did listen to her Be Strong, whatever. What's it called? The B podcast.
Yeah, be something. Yeah.
Yeah, her original podcast where she was like, I didn't want to do a podcast because podcasts are so stupid and overrated. I never wanted to do it. Then she does the podcast. And then she's on the podcast and she says, what is TikTok? Just shaking your butt? My daughter wants to shake her butt on TikTok. I mean, who is allowing this? And you're just stealing content. Where's the original content? Lo and behold, 6 months later, what did she do? She's like blown up on TikTok. She's best friends with Dave Portnoy and Josh Richards or whatever, and all these people, all these TikTokers, and she like thinks she's like discovered something revolutionary. Oh, I know how to be big on TikTok, And so and reviewing products. Okay, babe, that was 2010 YouTube. All right,
Right.
you think you're really doing something that grateful? Also, you're only getting this stuff and able to buy this stuff because you have the money, and your opinion doesn't matter anyway. But she thinks it does. She thinks people are just dying for her opinion on a product.
Yeah, right.
Yes. That's why her TikToks, like when it's her talking like this close to her face, it's like 3 minutes straight of her talking. She never does it in 1 minute. Like
No.
you can just tell by the way she talks. She just thinks that like what she is saying is so like no one has ever had such amazing thoughts the way she has before. And it just like everything she says rubs me the wrong way at this point.
It really does.
And it makes me wonder if like the editors just really gave her like a really good edit, because she really just seems to be a really miserable person.
Yeah.
I think in a group setting, she does a good job of holding her own. But when she would have her own, I mean, none of her shows as a singlet survived.
No.
Probably because her personality isn't that engaging alone. It is.
And her talk show, when she would be like, is Real Housewives of Atlanta just like pulling weaves and like throwing shade? Or like, remember when she said that to Kenya in an interview? Like, I don't know. She's been really, yeah.
Yeah, her talk show only lasted 1 season.
Ouch.
And she like noticed she barely talked about that on Roni.
Big Shot. What happened to the Big Shot? Big flop.
That was awful.
Like Bethenny Ever After, she doesn't even mention that once on Roni.
Well, that's triggering.
Yeah, well, I just like Bethenny, it's like it's fine for her to change her mind on things, but it's like the way she's so publicly is so aggressive about the way she hates things and acts like her opinion is the be all end all, and then she ends up changing her mind. It just makes her look really bad.
Now we want to get into some of the most recent Housewives episodes. This week we're going to be covering episode 6 of Salt Lake and then episode 4 of Potomac. Does anyone have any preference on what we start with?
I'd like to start with
Potomac. Oh, yeah, let's go for it. I love Potomac.
Do it. And then end with a bang with Salt Lake City.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
So episode 4 of season 7 of Potomac, not all fun and games. More like a very bare bones setup with like minimal games and a very like minimal attention to detail. That's like how I would describe Robin's like fun and games day. I mean, when they pan to those like table covers like blowing off the table, I was like, this is just so bad.
It was like she went on Amazon and was like, potato sacks, order like some plastic ass, like whatever else things they were doing. Like it was like, looked like really cheap game pieces that she was using too.
So
I just imagine her going to the producers and being like, I have a great idea. Let's get the kids together. And the producer's like, great, pull it together. And nothing happened after that.
Because like on Jersey, remember they would do the family like games days. That was always like one of my favorite episodes. But that was like, it's not like they even did that much more, but that was way more fun than whatever this was.
Well, nobody was there. Juan Dixon had a root canal conveniently.
Yeah.
Chris won't film with these ladies because he's being accused of being a creepo.
Yeah, true.
Michael's not going to come because Michael.
I love Eddie. Eddie said it best when Wendy was talking about it to him. He was like, they're going after Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you going to go after Chris? Come on now.
Yeah, I love Chris. He's one of my favorite Real Housewives husbands, TBH.
He is so supportive. At BravoCon, he was by Candy Gal's side the whole time. Like he sat in the chair and he was so sweet because people would be like, "Can we get a picture?" He's like, "Yeah, sure."
I
Um,
love him too.
He really loves her.
he does. He does. He loves the crazy.
I mean, if he can put up with all of that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, truly. Um, but yeah, definitely the whole event was weird. Also, when the kids are involved, it's always hard because you can't have a knockdown drag out fight. You got to have a little bit of, style and panache.
hmm
Um, and do you guys think that Karen was actually sick, or do you think she was just trying to get away from Charisse?
The latter.
I, yeah.
Really, I really thought she was sick. I mean, that coughing, you can't make that cough up. Okay, that sounded very hoarse. I mean, I'm
Maybe
sure.
it was a little of both. Knowing Karen, she
Yeah,
definitely likes to make a mountain out of a molehill.
yeah.
I like that she's not giving Charisse the attention though.
Oh no, don't give that person time of day.
No, it's just really thirsty for me.
Yeah. Also, this new friend that shows up, I don't even know her name. Someone pops in with her co-partner. I don't know what that was.
Yeah,
Co-parent. I
her
was like, who is this?
PP.
Oh, yeah, the PP. Was it parenting partner?
Yeah, I think so.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
like, who
What?
is this girl? I really don't care. I'm sorry.
I mean, literally,
But
at least give me some intro that's better than this. Oh, this is my PP.
yeah, they literally just threw this girl in here, like, oh yeah, I'm so interested to know what Jacqueline and her PP are up to.
Yeah,
Like,
who are
what?
you? It was just weird. And do you guys think that Robin should have invited Wendy?
Yeah,
If
and
she go ahead.
I thought it was laughable that she thought Wendy would send her children
Yeah.
without her to an
With
event that
Candace.
she doesn't like. I thought that was so comedic. Like, I really thought that if Robin thought for 1 second that Wendy would actually do that, then she's not as smart as I thought she was.
No.
And
It
she's
has
like,
to have
oh,
all
we'll
the
make a compromise and I'll like just invite her kids. Like, what?
Stupid. Stupid. I mean, she should honestly like I don't fault her for not inviting Wendy as like excluding the kids from it because if you're not in a good relationship with Wendy, there's no reason to send her an invite and then invite the kids. But I still think she should have just invited Wendy, put her ego aside and been like, you should come and then have Wendy deny the invite.
Yep.
Because
Then
but
it's on Wendy, not on her.
I think she just jumped the gun a little too fast there and was like, "You're not coming." And then she kind of was like, "How do I backtrack this but make myself look good?" And that's
yeah.
the story that she concocted.
Honestly, Wendy won though, because she didn't have to go to that basic ass event. So
I know.
good for
Mm,
Wendy.
good
More
for
than
Wendy.
basic. I thought Mia talking about why her 13-year-old wasn't there was hilarious. Like, I know
Oh.
you're not a big fan of Mia, Brett, and I totally understand your reasons why. I personally really enjoy her confessionals. I think she's really funny with her
What
commentary.
I did say this season she's been giving me more, and I've been liking
Yeah,
her kind of like comfortability, kind of like once you get rid of those first season jitters, I feel like you kind of
Mhm.
understand what you're doing a little bit more. So I think those confessionals, that's where it comes off with. But when she's like, G's everyone's daddy today, I'm like, no, no, no. I don't need G to be anything up in the D, G, DG, stay away. I don't care what you do.
Yeah, I'm good on him.
Mm-hmm, mm-mm.
I feel like he definitely watched himself last season, and so far he's been like trying to be very subdued because when he was getting drunk last season, it came off really bad.
He was pulling a Diana Jenkins, just Mr. Lip Licker over and over again, looking at Karen like she was a full-grown meal. Like, that is weird.
And like,
You're a
yeah,
65-year-old man.
him and Ashley like going at it on the bus because he was making her feel so uncomfortable. Like, and that just like really didn't sit well with me.
Ugh. Oh my God. He wanted us to see his erect thing. I don't think so. I
No,
no. Time to go. Time to go, G.
So
Getting
much
an F.
no. Uh,
cannot pay me to see that.
no.
Ooh.
And then this episode ends with Ashley not being able to reach Michael, which just feels like same shit, different day at
Mm-hmm.
this point. Like that he was doing that with her when they were married. But the news of their divorce has gotten out, and Michael is not like being celebrated at all. Ashley is. Everyone's like, yay, they're getting divorced because he's the worst. And he's like now throwing a tantrum over that, it sounds like.
Classic Michael. It's just crazy to watch Ashley continue to create excuses for this man. I mean, I guess I could understand it to some level, but because we just have a visceral reaction to him, and she obviously has a different connection, whatever, but his behavior is not surprising. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he leaked it himself. Like, I'm sure he wanted to like of course he's always gonna be painted as the bad character. He's a bad person. So
Yeah.
like, if he was good, he would be painted in a good light. So sorry.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's like she wants us to feel bad for him. And it's like, well, everything that's happened, I really have no sympathy for him. So I don't know what to say.
No, I don't know anybody that likes Michael Darby.
No one. No one.
No.
If they do, red flag. Oh, I will say this, not to derail us, but at Bravocon, there was somebody that went up during the OC panel, and or maybe it wasn't OC. Tamara was on the panel, and they said they like said their question, and at the end they went Team Simon, and everyone went boo, like booed this man, and I was like, yeah, who the hell says Team Simon? Also, it's been like 20 years.
Yeah, are we still focused on that right
Team
now?
Simon, get your life together. It's like someone saying Team
No.
Darby. Yeah.
Ew. Or team, what's her name from season 6 of Jersey? Team Marchese. Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
No.
Said no
Gag.
one ever.
So gross. Andy said at BravoCon that that's his least favorite housewives husband.
Oh, really?
As
Yeah.
he should.
Well,
Should we move on to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 6, season 3, Finsta fight.
So Heather is starting a choir, period, which is like a storyline we've never seen before. Kind of felt like we were watching an episode of like American Horror, or not American Horror, American Idol, or like Glee or something, with like Angie and Whitney like practicing their dance. And then like I really love Lisa's singing. I don't know. I just love Lisa. So
Oh my
The
God.
classic gay loves Elisa.
yeah, yep.
Who doesn't? She's amazing. She is a top tier housewife.
She delivers every episode. I mean, I know some people that don't like her, and I get it, but a part of me hopes, I think maybe a friend told me this. I hope that Heather and Whitney, or Heather and Lisa, become kind of that like dynamic of like Giselle and Karen, in a way where like they're almost kind of like frenemies, but like they're good friends, but like they can like they can attack each other, but it's always in good jest, stuff like that. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be good because obviously Jen is gonna be gone pretty
What?
soon.
How
So
do you, they're gonna keep, they're probably gonna sentence her to another 50 seasons of this whole thing. I mean, she's never gonna go away. She's gonna be like a cockroach and she's gonna live in denial of the fact that she was guilty. I had to plead guilty in order to get a lesser sentence. Otherwise, they would have gotten a bigger sentence. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, I was fighting for my life. Like
and in the
you are.
preview, she's screaming at Angie H that she's innocent.
Mhm.
I love, I love that. I just, I did it, what did you guys think of that intro that was like the 1920s of like
Loved
like
it.
what was that? Oh my God. I'm like, what am I watching? What is this show?
They're definitely like trying some new things with
Oh, they're
Salt Lake
trying.
this season. Yeah,
There's
that
only
didn't
four
hit as
people.
good as like the intro to the premiere. I loved that when they did like the old casting tapes. That
Yes.
was really good. This was like interesting, but not my favorite.
It was interesting the way they laid out the whole episode in that 5 seconds, and I literally could have just watched that and not watched the episode because it's
Right.
um do you guys, what do you guys think about Whitney and her husband and this whole creation that he got fired because they were rolling in paint?
I I normally wouldn't really believe it, but because it's Salt Lake and there's so much like, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's so conservative that I sort of believe it, but I also feel like there could be like something else too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's that like crazy that if he works for a conservative leaning company, that if they saw that they might have a problem with it. I mean, we see people get fired for less sometimes with what they
Mm-hmm.
post on social media. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I agree with it, but also at the same time, like you if you're worried at all that you could be fired from your job, you shouldn't be showcasing your sex life on national television.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I just feel like there has to be more to the story because he was just so high up in the company that in order to be fired for that instance, um Abby from Real Moms of Bravo said that um she thinks it's because Whitney owns a skincare company
Mm-hmm.
and he's a big investor in it, and the company he worked for was like in health and beauty. So they think that it was a conflict of interest, and that's why like that's her part of the show that like they didn't like, that she's like showing part of a business that they, and because he works in sales, that's his
Yeah.
job. He's like the chief sales officer. So I feel like that has a little bit more to do with it, but I don't know. I'm obviously just making it up in my head. It could totally be real, and I'm just lying.
Yeah, because we don't know what the exact company is.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody figured it out, but
Yeah, it's on his LinkedIn. It's like some
yeah,
like
true. I guess I could do a quick Google search and figure it out. But yeah.
yeah.
So we've got drama between Lisa and Heather this episode because Lisa retweeted Heather's dad obituary to try and prove a point. And
Mm-mm.
like I think Lisa, like she really was like trying to defend herself. She just like she didn't do it in the best way.
I don't think it's cool for like, I don't know. I feel like Heather kind of started it like weaponizing those texts of Lisa. And yeah, maybe like I know they don't have the best relationship and I'm sure Lisa's texts weren't the most genuine, but like at least she was trying to reach out and say like, sorry to hear about your dad's health. Like, I don't know. I feel like that was kind of like unnecessary on Heather's end, but
These Lisa apologists I have on the line
yes.
here. I kind of thought it was just weird to like go back. I always think it's weird to go back after a reunion is shot because essentially they already had squashed it in the sense that like Lisa really didn't know where her dad was in the process, which they weren't really friends, close friends to begin with. So it's not like she would really know that the dad was on his deathbed or like in hospice. So like, was the text insensitive? Yeah, if you're reading it in the context that Heather's reading it, but like
Hmm.
they just didn't have that close of a relationship to know what the problem was, and then I just think it's weird for Lisa to like bring it back up and be like, see, it wasn't the exact moment he died. Like it makes you look weird to
Yeah.
like to dig it up and be like, oh, I'm right about your dad's death in my text. Like it's just one of those things where like I just wouldn't touch it anymore. And like the people that like understood like where Lisa was coming from, understood her. People that understood Heather, like I wouldn't even bring it up again. That's why I was like,
Yeah. Or she could have just said like her dad died on April 17th or whatever, and these were the dates of the text. Like she didn't even need to like post the whole
yeah.
obituary. I don't know.
It's a little bit much, a little bit. I mean, to go back,
Yeah,
it's a little petty for me, but you know what? That's what these wives do.
true. Well, speaking of petty, we have Angie H and her husband who are giving me who's another couple that's giving me thirsty vibes.
So
But
Mm,
I mean,
they went out to dinner with, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna piggyback on what you were saying, like Angie and her husband saying that the media was attacking Angie. Like, what media?
what media?
She was barely on last season. Like the Cater Gate thing lasted
Oh,
like one or two episodes. Like
Yeah, that
I
was
don't think the fans were that invested in you to where they're like attacking you on that level.
I just think it's funny a grown man like made
52-year-old grown-ass man.
like it's just like you got free time, because you had to figure out how to create a second account. I'm sure you just clicked add plus add account and you're like, oh, what can I do? And then it was like Shaw exposed. Like, what are you gonna expose?
Because it was available. Like, no, that was obviously like a premeditated like thought about name.
Literally.
Not just, oh, it's available. Okay.
But like you
I'm
wanted to
sure
create.
Barlow Exposed is available. Like,
Should we make it?
I was gonna say, Michael, are you like changing your Instagram name after the end of this episode?
no, I would never do
Barlow
that to my
exposed.
girl.
Oh no.
But I also think it's kind of shady, like that Meredith is hanging with them because
Oh
we
yeah.
know her new bestie is Jen Shaw, and she's hanging out with this guy that's like making all these fake accounts about Jen. I don't know.
The FBI.
I just can't believe he's actually like willing to admit that he was like behind this account. Like, how embarrassing. You're catfishing at 52 years old.
He's
Which is
really
like
trying to get his wife a full-time spot on this show.
it's just funny because I feel like we met him in like a vulnerable moment, right? Because he was talking about like I think they have like a trans kid or
Yeah.
there's like a
Yeah.
there's a trans event and like it was like, oh my God, this guy is so wonderful giving this speech. He got choked up, and now we see he's just a Twitter troll or
Yeah.
Instagram troll.
I know. I feel like we like initially thought that Angie and her husband were cool. Like they have a trans son. They like seem like really cool people. But at the same breath, she's like saying she eats Chick-fil-A all the time. And I'm like, wait, what?
Do we have anything else on Salt Lake? I know next week looks really good. We have Jen calling Angie's husband a fat fucking elf on the shelf.
So that is it for episode 91 of The Word on the Street Is. We were so grateful to have Brett here with us on this episode. Brett, if you can share with our listeners where they can follow you on social media, that would be amazing.
For sure, you can follow me at BravobyBrett on any social media platform, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok even. I don't even know what I'm doing there, but you can always find me there. But yeah, thank you guys for having me on. You guys are so fun. I know we've been wanting to do this for a while, so I'm glad
Yeah.
we could make it happen.
Yeah, this was
Yeah, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, we had so much fun talking about Potomac and Salt Lake City with you, and we'll have to have you on when Beverly Hills comes back.
Oh yeah, I anytime you guys want me to come back, I will.
Awesome. Well,
Awesome.
thank you again, and we'll see you next week
Thanks.
for another episode of The Word on the Street Is.